afternoon, I guess it is now. No signal. Here we are. Hello, everyone. Hi. So how about if we get some BDNF moving for our bodies, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, super important when we're going to engage in any type of new learning. And I'm going to move some things around here so I don't trip and fall. First of all, I just want to say thank you to Neuro Challenge for the invitation to be with all of you today. And I recognize that we are running behind. I'm looking for the clicker. How's that? Woo-woo! All right, everyone. Okay, so here we go. So I do just want to take a moment before we get started and to actually arrive, all right? You guys, this is the end of the day. It's a really difficult time as a speaker. I came to you from Boston, Massachusetts, where I teach. I teach 3 amazing courses, have an amazing opportunity to teach 3 courses at Harvard: Women's Brain Health, Culinary and Nutritional Neuroscience, and Lifestyle Medicine for Brain Health. And what I've learned is that it's really important that we pause. Even if we are at the end of the day, that we pause and focus and just take a moment to arrive. This program is part of the Be Brain Healthy, Be Brain Powerful, Be Brain Ready Communities for Brain Health campaign that encourages brain healthy lifestyles across the lifespan, prenatally to the end of life, at the individual and the community level. This proactive, collective impact, public health approach will improve brain health outcomes for you, for those you care for, and for those you care about. Neuro Challenge is absolutely committed to the wellness of its community. And as a part of its commitment, Neuro Challenge has invited me and the Brain Health Initiative to present a lecture about brain health, one component of our initiative. BHI Brain Health Communities operates with brain health in mind by focusing on neuroprotective factors to enhance health and well-being, to optimize performance, to address risk factors and symptoms of brain illness. It begins with building brain health literacy, what you're all doing when you're here today. Understanding that positive lifestyle means positive neuroplasticity, and therefore healthier, higher performing brains at all ages, regardless of the symptoms, regardless of our pathology, whether we're a caregiver or a patient. We focus on a cluster of multiple protective factors and risk factors. They're listed here for you, and I'm not going to go into all of them today for the sake of time. But I think it's important to recognize that although I'm here today to talk about neuroprotective dietary patterns, it takes a comprehensive approach of multiple lifestyles in order to optimize outcomes, not just what you eat. Based on cutting-edge research, this presentation is centered on the science informing core lifestyle strategies for brain health. These pathways include reducing oxidative stress, lowering inflammation, combating insulin resistance, building positive neuroplasticity. They offer benefits for anyone that's seeking to protect their cognitive health and reduce their risk of brain illness, their physiological health of their brain, as well as the performance of your mind. The presentation will feature evidence-based lifestyle neuroprotective dietary interventions, and you're going to gain practical tools for incorporating these strategies into your daily life, empowering you to enhance your brain health and overall well-being. So I'm often asked, why would a global team of scientists, clinicians, educators, patients, caregivers, stakeholders of all types be driven to create an ambitious and creative, comprehensive global brain health initiative and conduct research, generate innovation, create engagement opportunities like this, and offer programming on brain health across all sectors, as early as prenatally, as well as in K-12 education, and all the way across the lifespan of learning for everyday people, as well as for patients and caregivers and the professionals who care for you. There are 3 words that are at the foundation of the Brain Health Initiative. These 3 words are crisis, opportunity, and hope. First, the crisis. I'm not going to go into a lot of statistics today, and you are living these statistics, so you are well aware of the global brain illness crisis. Brain illness is the largest global public health burden, and its numbers are only rising. We're also at a time, thanks to advances in modern medicine, public health, and neuroscience, where we understand a great deal about the mind, the brain, and biology, and how these work together to make us who we are. But unfortunately, this information is not widely known. And this means that each of us have a tremendous responsibility and opportunity to make a difference. So let's think for a moment, what is brain health? You're learning a lot today and through your experience with Parkinson's as a caregiver or as a patient or as a family member. You spend a lot of time thinking about the deficit model. I have these symptoms, what do I need to do to correct them? I'm talking about brain health. Why is brain health important? Why is it important to you? Brain health includes everything that we think, feel, say, and do, from breathing, to solving a puzzle, to feeling love or anger, to walking up a flight of stairs, to designing this amazing event, to participating in this amazing event. It all relies on the brain. Brain health includes the brain's physiological, electrical, and metabolic health as an organ, and the dynamic interaction between the brain, the mind, the body, as well as our environment. Brain health is integral to a person's overall health and well-being, and a brain in good working order controls our ability to concentrate, to learn, to remember, to communicate, to interact well with others, to express and manage emotions, to maintain a clear, active mind, as well as to engage with the outer world, despite our age or our current situation. It is also crucial to the mind-body interactions, to our physical health and our overall well-being. I think it's important and critically obvious to all of us that are here that our lifespan has outpaced our brain span. Cognitive decline can begin subtly in our early to mid-30s. And if you were one of my students at Harvard, when I asked that question at the beginning of the semester, none of them get it right, or very few of them get it right. Because people do not recognize or understand that, yes, our brains begin to subtly age in our mid-30s. They become most noticeable in our 40s or 50s for most people. Research indicates that the earliest measurable changes in certain brain functions can start in the 30s. However, these changes are usually mild and may not impact daily life significantly for many years. Cognitive decline, although it can begin in its 30s, 40s, and 50s, maybe earlier, we don't yet know. is important to understand because brain health is about all of us, and brain illness is a threat to well-being and health across the lifespan. And brain illness across the lifespan ends up impacting nearly all of us. We have a saying at Massachusetts General Hospital, and that is that no home goes untouched by brain illness. Brain illness accounts for 1/3 of the global disease burden and is becoming more prevalent as the world's population ages. However, when an aging brain, remember I shared that it could begin in as early as our 30s? When an aging brain is combined with unhealthy lifestyles, that's a recipe for declining function. Today, too many people are engaging in poor lifestyle choices, so much so that scientists who study population health have suggested that by 2030, by the way, that's just a few years from now, that by 2030, the proportion of total global deaths due to chronic diseases could increase to 84%, with most attributable to lifestyle factors. Those lifestyle factors that I shared with you at the beginning of today's presentation. So it's important to understand that cognitive decline is not inevitable, and many lifestyle factors, physical activity, a brain-healthy diet, sufficient sleep, stress resilience, cognitive stimulation are not only protective, but lower the risk of brain illness and contribute to increasing reserve that helps the brain withstand the decline typically associated with brain illness and aging. Today, we're exploring the power of nutrition in Parkinson's disease. Research increasingly shows that what we eat impacts brain development, brain maturation, brain aging, brain performance, brain health, disease progression, and overall well-being. We're going to discuss the role of diet in managing Parkinson's symptoms, in delaying progression, and supporting caregivers in their journey. Here are the objectives of today's presentation. So Parkinson's disease, I don't need to tell you what it is. You are all experts in Parkinson's, so we're going to move beyond that slide. But one of the most exciting areas of Parkinson's research, in my humble opinion, today is research related to the gut-brain connection. As I shared with you at Harvard, I teach an academic course for undergraduate, graduate students, and pre-medical students in particular are finding this to be extremely exciting, and that is that some scientists believe Parkinson's may actually start in the gut. I know you heard a little bit about this earlier today. Before affecting the brain. Think about that. This is due to the presence of a misfolded protein which can travel from the intestines to the brain via the vagus nerve, which is a very long, complex nerve that plays a crucial role in the communication between the brain and many other complex internal organs. Additionally, people with Parkinson's tend to have an imbalanced gut microbiome, also known as dysbiosis, meaning fewer beneficial bacteria and more harmful inflammation-promoting bacteria reside in the gut. This imbalance can lead to a connection known as leaky gut. Only 10 years ago, 15 years ago maybe, leaky gut was not thought to be a real phenomena. When I began my clinical practice 30 years ago, leaky gut was not even a subject. 30 years ago, brain health was not a subject. I hope you see where we're headed. This imbalance can lead to a condition that is known, and now the research is strongly providing evidence that this phenomenon known as leaky gut, where harmful substances enter the bloodstream and contribute to brain inflammation. So throughout today's presentation, you're going to hear me come back to a few of these themes and repeat them over and over because they're that important for you to walk away with today. So how does nutrition help? Really? Nutrition? What I put in my body? What I put on my body? What I put around my body? It makes a difference? You bet it does. A well-balanced anti-inflammatory diet can protect neurons, reduce oxidative stress, and support gut health. By including more antioxidant-rich foods like berries, nuts, leafy greens, we can fight brain cell damage. Omega-3 fatty acids from fish and flax seeds reduces neuroinflammation. Remember those pathways that I talked about at the beginning of my presentation? I hope you're picking up on these themes. Just as important as what we eat is what to avoid. Processed foods, excess sugar and sodium, toxins can accelerate disease progression. So what do we consume and what do we avoid? Scientific research supports the link between diet and Parkinson's. Again, this is emerging, exciting research in the area of Parkinson's, in the area of brain health in general, and as well as in the area of brain illness of all types. Studies show that adherence, for example, to the Mediterranean and Mind diets, both are rich in healthy fats, antioxidants, and fiber, can slow cognitive decline, can slow neurodegenerative progression. Research on the gut microbiome highlights that Parkinson's patients have an altered gut bacterial composition. That doesn't mean that all Parkinson patients do, but there is this growing body of research that strongly supports this. Some studies even suggest that a ketogenic diet may help reduce motor symptoms. Finally, we cannot ignore the role of environmental toxins. Long-term exposure to pesticides and pollutants, not only that we find in the air, but in everyday household products, in everyday consumer goods, as well as on the foods or in the foods that we eat. They all increase the risk of Parkinson's. In summary, for this little bit, diet is a powerful tool in managing Parkinson's disease. Prioritizing gut health, reducing inflammation, and increasing neuroprotective foods can help slow progression and improve quality of life. Caregivers too can benefit from better nutrition as it reduces stress and enhances resilience. The key is making small, sustainable changes, swapping processed foods for whole, nutrient-dense meals. We're going to explore some practical meal planning, and actually, because of time, you're going to be sent home with these slides as opposed to be going into those tips today, but all of you will go home with these resources. There are several studies that suggest these recent research findings that we're talking about today. And I'm not going to go into all of these today, but again, you'll receive these references. Research is revealing that the gut and brain are more connected than we ever imagined. The gut communicates with the brain through the vagus nerve and the immune system, influencing everything from mood to movement. The bacteria in our intestines play a critical role in regulating inflammation, producing neurotransmitters, and supporting digestion. However, when gut health is disrupted, it can have significant effects on brain function, especially in conditions like Parkinson's disease. Studies have found, there's several here over the next few slides that we're going to take a look at, but studies have found that Parkinson's patients have a unique gut microbiome, as we've been discussing. This unique micro-gut biome composition. They tend to have fewer beneficial bacteria, which helps produce short-chain fatty acids that support brain health. At the same time, they have an overgrowth of harmful bacteria that promote inflammation. This imbalance, known as, I've already said it once, you remember? Dysbiosis, is believed to contribute to, what's it called? Leaky gut, excellent. Where harmful substances pass through the intestinal barrier directly into the bloodstream, leading to systemic inflammation and worsening neurodegeneration. This figure in this slide shows how the amounts of different gut bacteria change in people with Parkinson's compared to healthy people without Parkinson's. The bar represents the amount of each bacteria, with yellow showing the amounts in healthy people and blue showing the amounts in individuals with Parkinson's. This shows that individuals with PD often have a different makeup of gut bacteria compared to healthy people. Look at this list. Essentially, certain types of bacteria are more common in those with Parkinson's, while others are less common, suggesting this link that we're talking about, this powerful link between gut health and the disease. Recent studies have shown that a healthy diet, fiber, and added sugar intake affects the gut microbiome composition of patients with Parkinson's. And these images show the changes in the microbial diversity in individuals with Parkinson's based on dietary changes. One of the biggest breakthroughs in Parkinson's discovery has been in this research of this misfolded protein that plays a key role in disease. Recent findings suggest that these abnormal proteins may first appear actually in the gut, possibly due to toxins, to gut inflammation, or infections. From there, they can travel to the brain through the vagus nerve. Again, what is the vagus nerve? A very long nerve triggering what? A chain reaction that leads to neuron damage and classic symptoms found in Parkinson's. Again, it's called leaky gut, a condition where the protective barrier of the intestines becomes compromised, allowing harmful substances like bacterial toxins, pesticides, inflammatory molecules to enter the bloodstream. Once in circulation, these substances can trigger an immune response, leading to chronic inflammation and oxidative stress. This is particularly harmful for Parkinson's patients because inflammation can accelerate the loss of dopamine-producing neurons, worsening motor symptoms and cognitive decline. The good news is that we can actively support gut health, no matter where you are in your disease progression, to slow Parkinson's progression overall. Eating a gut-friendly diet can help restore microbiome balance and reduce inflammation. This means increasing probiotic foods like fermented yogurts, kimchi, feeding good bacteria with fiber-rich prebiotics, and including anti-inflammatory foods like berries, turmeric, and extra virgin olive oil. At the same time, avoiding those ultra-processed foods. I don't need to go over those again. The other key is excessive alcohol intake. Reducing excessive alcohol intake can help prevent further damage to the gut lining. And hydration and stress management also play key roles in maintaining a healthy gut. So the research strongly suggests that Parkinson's disease is not just a brain disorder, and it may actually begin in the gut. Dysbiosis, or leaky gut, and inflammation all play a role in disease progression. The spread of this unfolded protein from the gut to the brain provides further evidence of the connection. The good news is that by making simple dietary changes, and it's never too early and it's never too late, can improve gut health, reduce inflammation, and potentially slow neurodegeneration. So what are some key neuroprotective nutrients and foods? Again, diet plays a preventative role. The Mediterranean and plant-based diets are linked to a lower risk of PD, likely due to their high antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Conversely, a Western diet, the diet that most of us are accustomed to, also known as the SAD diet, a standard American diet, that may increase risk due to oxidative stress and inflammation. And these are choices that we can choose. Do we want a neuroprotective dietary pattern or a SAD dietary pattern? I think we know our choice. The gut-brain axis is critical. The gut microbiome, we believe, plays a role in Parkinson's, and dietary interventions like fiber-rich diets can positively influence gut health and potentially slow the progression. Dietary interventions can help also to manage symptoms. Specialized diets, such as the ketogenic diet, a low-carb diet, shows promise in symptom relief. Much more research is needed, but while protein redistribution diets have helped improve L-DOPA absorption in PD patients, this aligns with the broader brain health strategies, reinforcing the role of diet in preventing neurodegeneration. Again, more research is needed, and we hope that we can inspire many of you to stand up and be a part of this progressive research. Long-term studies are crucial to developing evidence-based dietary recommendations, evidence-based dietary recommendations based on your gut health. Science is increasingly proving that food can be a powerful tool in protecting the brain, not just for those of us with Parkinson's, but for each of us. The Mediterranean and mind diets are among the most well-studied brain-boosting dietary patterns. They emphasize whole, unprocessed foods. They focus on what we call the 4 F's: fiber, healthy fats, flavonoids, and fit. Does it fit with your lifestyle? And it has to be fun. The Mediterranean diet, you see an image here. This is the Brain Health Initiative, Neuroprotective Dietary Pattern, certified dietary pattern, focusing from molecules to metabolism, focusing on the availability of neuroprotective foods, focusing on the accessibility, meaning is it available to all, and focusing on adoption, meaning will you eat it? The Mediterranean diet, as you see in this neuroprotective dietary pattern food pyramid, these diets focus on these 4 primary protective factors. And again, you'll receive this slide, so I won't go into depth about this. But I do want to spend a moment about the ketogenic diet, or keto diet. Again, very low carbohydrate, high fat diet. It puts the body into a metabolic state called ketosis, where it burns fat for fuel instead of carbohydrates. It involves drastically reducing carbohydrates intake and increasing fat composition with moderate protein intake. Here are a few more studies to support that. But the ketogenic diet, which is high in healthy fats and very low in carbohydrates, has gained interest in Parkinson's research. And this idea is that ketones produced when the body burns fat for energy can serve as an alternative fuel source for the brain, and this may help to reduce oxidative stress, lower inflammation, and even improve motor symptoms. Some studies have shown promising results, though more research is needed. However, because the diet is restrictive, it's important to approach it carefully and to consult with a healthcare provider, a knowledgeable healthcare provider, about neuroprotective dietary patterns before trying this particular diet on your own. Certain nutrients play a crucial role in protecting the brain and in slowing neurodegeneration, like omega-3 fatty acids found in fatty fish, nuts and seeds. They help reduce brain inflammation. Polyphenols, like those found in berries and green tea, have powerful antioxidant effects that protect dopamine-producing neurons. Probiotics and prebiotic fiber improve gut health, which in turn reduces brain inflammation. And lastly, vitamin D and B complex are essential for mitochondrial energy production and cognitive function and neurodegeneration. Omega-3 fatty acids are one of the most important nutrients for brain health for all ages, and these healthy fats help reduce all the things we've just discussed. Studies show that diets rich in omega-3s can improve both motor and cognitive functions in Parkinson's disease, and the best sources include fatty fish like salmon, as well as plant-based options like flax seeds and walnuts. Polyphenols and antioxidants are powerful compounds that protect neurons from oxidative stress and damage. I keep repeating this because I want you to remember it. Berries, green tea, dark leafy greens, turmeric, and even dark chocolate are excellent sources of these brain protective nutrients. Regular consumption of these foods have been linked to better outcomes for Parkinson's patients, improved cognitive clarity, slower progression of neurodegenerative diseases. A healthy gut means a healthier brain. That's pretty simple to remember. Healthy gut, healthy brain. Probiotics found in fermented foods like yogurt and kimchi introduce beneficial bacteria, while prebiotics found in fiber-rich foods like onions, bananas, fruits, and vegetables feed these bacteria. Together, they help balance the microbiome, reduce gut-driven inflammation, and support dopamine metabolism, which, as we know, is essential for Parkinson's patients. So adopting a neuroprotective dietary pattern, that doesn't mean that you get it right each day, but it means that it is a part of your pattern, your neuroprotective lifestyle. It can help slow Parkinson's progression and improve overall well-being, whether it's in following a Mediterranean-style diet, incorporating more omega-3s, or supporting gut health directly. Even small dietary changes can make a significant impact. More studies. I want to turn for just a moment about our caregivers. Caring for a loved one with Parkinson's is a deeply meaningful role. But it can also be exhausting, both physically, cognitively, and emotionally. The chronic stress of caregiving can take a toll on our overall health, increasing the risk of burnout, depression, and metabolic disorders. However, nutrition can play a powerful role in improving resilience, in improving the reduction of stress, and supporting long-term well-being. Again, not just for our Parkinson's patients, but also for our caregivers. We're going to explore some dietary strategies to help caregivers maintain their health while providing the best possible care. Caregiving can feel and is a full-time job. And often, caregivers put their loved ones' needs before their own. However, chronic stress can lead to all kinds of complications and even physical health issues and cognitive illnesses. Additionally, stress triggers inflammation in the body, which contributes to long-term health risks. That's why nutrition is important for all of us, not just for managing stress, but for protecting overall health. When stress becomes chronic, it affects nearly every system in the body. High cortisol levels lead to increased inflammation, which not only weakens the immune system, but also disrupts the gut health and our mental well-being. Over time, this can impair everything from memory, lower dopamine and serotonin levels, and even increase the risk of neurodegenerative diseases. Again, what's the good news? Remember in the beginning, the crisis, the opportunity, and the hope? The good news is that diet can play a crucial role in reversing these effects and improving resilience. One of the best ways to combat the effects of chronic stress, you bet, following an anti-inflammatory diet, following a neuroprotective lifestyle routine. Same as with our patients, the Mediterranean diet, the MIND diet, plant-based diets are excellent choices as they are rich in all the things we've talked about before: flavonoids, fat, healthy fats, and healthy fiber. These nutrient-dense foods help lower inflammation and support brain health. In contrast, processed foods, the standard American diet, that SAD diet that we want you to avoid, makes the opportunity to manage stress harder. By choosing whole, unprocessed foods, caregivers can improve their resilience to stress and maintain long-term health. Adaptogens are natural substances that help the body adapt to stress. They regulate cortisol levels, improve mental clarity, and support immune functioning. Things like mushrooms, like lion's mane mushrooms, have brain-boosting properties, while many herbs help the body cope with stress more effectively. These can be consumed in teas, they can be consumed raw, they can be consumed on your salads and soups, or added to smoothies for an easy way to enhance stress resilience. Balancing blood sugar is key for managing stress and maintaining steady energy throughout the day. When we eat too many refined carbs or sugar, we experience energy crashes that increase cravings and worsen our stress. A balanced diet that includes protein, healthy fats, fiber, flavonoids, help keep blood sugar stable, preventing fatigue and mood swings. This is especially important for caregivers who need sustained energy throughout the day. These top two graphs illustrate the changes in blood glucose levels over time after a meal. And the bottom two graphs show the changes in insulin response after the meals. The darker line represents the response to a meal from a Mediterranean diet, while the lighter line shows the response to a control meal, your standard American diet. As you can see, the individuals who consumed the neuroprotective dietary pattern experienced a significantly lower and slower rise in blood glucose compared to those over the control group. The Mediterranean diet also leads to a more controlled insulin response after eating. And this suggests improved insulin sensitivity, meaning the body needs less insulin to manage blood sugar. Proper hydration. It's essential for all of us, for all ages. Proper hydration and key nutrients play a vital role in stress resilience. Dehydration can lead to fatigue and brain fog, making stress even harder to manage. Magnesium supports relaxation and sleep. B vitamins, think of B vitamins as brain vitamins, improve mood and energy, and omega-3s reduce inflammation and stress. Caregivers should prioritize these nutrients to maintain mental and physical well-being. Caring for someone with Parkinson's is a long journey, and maintaining your own health is just as important as caring for your loved ones. By adopting an anti-inflammatory diet, incorporating stress-reducing foods, and staying hydrated, caregivers can build resilience, prevent burnout, and improve their overall health and well-being for the long term. Remember, taking care of yourself allows you to provide the best care for others. You're going to receive these slides, but I am flashing through them to show you, to share with you, that we've provided some ideas. Rely on the science and use these recipe guides or these menu guides as inspiration to create your own brain-healthy meal plan. It's also important for all of us to remember that making mealtime a moment of nourishment and self-care is important for patients as well as caregivers. Eating slowly, breathing, focusing on whole foods, preparing meals ahead of time can help prevent stress and digestive issues. Prioritizing mindful eating ensures caregivers and patients stay energized and resilient. Planning ahead can make healthy eating much easier. Batch cooking is what we recommend to caregivers. It ensures that nutritious meals are ready to go, whether it's for breakfast, snacks, lunch, dinner, or any other time of the day. This reduces stress while saving time. Most of you know this, but I want to remind you that when you're shopping for a neuroprotective dietary pattern, stick to the outer aisles where fresh produce, where fresh proteins, seafood, fish, meats to a much lesser extent, and whole foods are located. Avoid processed foods. Read ingredient labels. That can help minimize exposure to hidden sugars and additives. Making simple strategic choices in daily meals can greatly impact both patients and caregivers. Prioritize a neuroprotective dietary plan. Plan your meals in advance. Avoid processed foods, and remember to eat mindfully. Eat with love in your heart. Eat with love in the process of preparing as well as consuming the meals. It's as important for our caregivers as it is for our patients. So as we wrap up, let's reflect on a few key points that we've covered quickly. Remember, I typically talk about this subject over the course of a 15-week academic semester, and we've summarized this in about 30 minutes. So as we wrap up, let's reflect on a few points that we've covered. First, what two organs are connected? Yeah, gut health and our brain. Gut health and neuroprotection are deeply linked, meaning that what we eat, what we put in our body, what we put on our body, what we put around our body, what we do with our body, who we do it with, it all matters. Environmental toxins, we didn't have time to go into that today, but environmental toxins play a significant role in Parkinson's. The right diet can help support the exposure to the common neurotoxins that we're exposed to on a daily basis. The next is that caregivers need specific nutrition strategies to maintain their own health and resilience. And lastly, a whole food, plant-based, we're not just focusing on plants, but a whole food, predominantly plant-forward diet, anti-inflammatory diets focusing on healthy fats, healthy fiber, healthy flavonoids, and making sure it's a good fit, supports both patients and caregivers, helping to improve overall quality of life. Small, intentional dietary changes can make a profound difference in long-term health and well-being. Thank you for your time, and I do want to share one thing before I leave, and that is, I would love for someone from Neuro Challenge to come up, because the Brain Health Initiative wants to award to Neuro Challenge this. This is the first award from the Brain Health Initiative certifying Neuro Challenge as a brain healthy community. So, what this says is that brain health matters and lifestyle makes a difference. And Neuro Challenge is one of the first organizations in the world to receive this designation. All right. You'll see along the outer edges that each one of these symbols represents those neuroprotective factors we discussed at the beginning of today. With that, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.